Campagnola bella, tu sei la reginella, negli occhi tuoi c'è il sole, c'è il colore delle viole, delle valli tutte in fiore. Se canti la tua voce, è un'armonia di pace, che si diffonde e dice se vuoi vivere felice devi vivere.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome to yet another edition of Red Card Weekly. Here we mostly speak about Serie A, sometimes some international, sometimes some European, and yes, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. Sorry about last week, we were impegnati, but we're back this week for our week 33 review. Always faithfully myself, Vince. Con le mie occhi non vedo tanto da lontano, ma oggi se ho visto anche senza occhiali che ci mancava una stretta di mamma. Tavarnese. And I have Steve. Sometimes watching Milan with a wife and a 9-month-old is kind of a mess. But even more when my wife says, "Who's that guy? He's really good looking," and it's Philippe Mexes. Polino. What did you answer to that one? She actually said that Mexes is a better looking guy? Just...
I can't hear you.
Well, I said Philippe Mexes.
I can't hear you.
Okay, fine. You know what? Let's just call it. I know you're fighting with me, but so you're not shaking my hand now?
No, call me Lopez. Maxi Lopez. Good for him.
So we had il derby de
La Putana.
derby della Troia, and you know what? We always usually start with the Saturday games, but me and Steve have a special transition video here for you guys. And you know what, we definitely have to start with the love affair. As you can see, the nice little heart of Sampdoria Inter. Are you surprised by the result? Are you surprised by the 4 goals? Are you surprised with the animosity? Or I'm not surprised by the Inter win, to tell you the truth, but 4-0, I wasn't really expecting that.
No,
and
this
cards.
game has to be broken down in 2 different parts. One,
I'm sorry, I'm just doing my...
One is the actual game itself. The actual game itself, look, Inter came out to play. Icardi got off to a fantastic start in a game where the pressure was on. There was a lot of other secondary stories. But look, guys, Sampdoria didn't show up today. They were more interested in the soap opera, which is the other half of this game. Well, someone from Sampdoria should have just went out and taken him out, Icardi.
Yeah, you know,
just go there and take him out and get it over with then. Once you take him out, there's a hard foul. He understands that he's in the game. He understands that he's going to get abused the whole day. And it's over with.
And, you know, abuse, like the backup goalie, you can see him on a yellow card.
Those are things that are out of the game.
Yeah.
They're out of the game.
Somebody should have taken him out, you're saying?
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. If I'm Maxi Lopez, I have a big picture of Icardi in the locker room, and I say the top dollar to whatever breaks on this kid. Because that's the way it has to go. And then, once the hard foul is taken on Icardi, it's over after. Start playing the game.
Yeah.
Maxi Lopez is on one side of the pitch, Icardi's on the other side of the pitch.
The mind games played in, and you know what? A respect or a chapeau for me to Mazzarri that at the end of the game was replying back to the Sampdoria assistant coach saying that Icardi is not a man. And Mazzarri said, yes, he made a mistake, but non facciamo i moralisti. Like, who are we to start giving, you know? But he was right, and Icardi right now, he's lucky that he's been scoring a lot, and he's doing a lot of good things.
He's not lucky. He's been playing well, and he's been scoring.
Yeah.
Inter don't care if he scores.
But
they would care if he wouldn't score. But Icardi, as an actual person himself, if I'm Maxi Lopez, not only do I not shake his hand, I slap him in the face.
Or, you know what, Mr. Javier Zanetti, the one man that we have the utmost respect for Inter, grab him aside, have a little chit-chat, just like Baresi would do with somebody here in Milan.
This is social media stuff. This is social media bullshit where he's done something wrong.
Yeah.
You cannot befriend a person and then after sleep with his wife and then post pictures of his kids and then you're getting into his head. Could it have got any worse for Maxi Lopez today by missing a penalty shot and choking? No.
Hashtag only in SerieA, right? Because there's only these kind of things.
No, there's not only in SerieA.
These love triangles?
No, there's Wade Bridge and John Terry.
Yeah, that's
John
true,
Terry and who else he banged. Everybody bangs everybody.
Let's take it over, guys, to Roma-Atalanta on Saturday. An easy win for Roma, convincing. Being able to, and I know that you kind of jumped the gun. I think the most important thing is that Steve wanted just to call Lilac a lemon. He wasn't realizing that Florenzi was suspended, but he just wanted to call him a lemon.
No, right? He's a lemon. Guaranteed he's a lemon. If anybody else tells me otherwise, he's a lemon. He makes terrible runs. When he does make a run, they're late. He overthinks things. He tries to do too much on a team where he should not be trying to do too much, because there's other players with much more class than him who are doing just enough and they're getting by perfectly. It was his time to shine with Florenzi suspended, Destro suspended, and so on and so forth, and he did absolutely nothing. The only reason he gets on the score sheet is because he makes the same run, because he's not intelligent enough to see that De Rossi is making that run and get in a position to score, and De Rossi decided to give him the ball.
That's true. That's
the only reason why
maybe it's because he knew he needed that confidence or boost.
From that game yesterday, you see Gervinho, his speed is something to kill for. He is very, very fast. I am amazed at his performance this year in the SerieA, especially with the defending that they have in the SerieA. Usually there's a tactical foul. He's faster than the tactical foul.
Yeah, definitely. Roma, let's see if they got, I really doubt tomorrow Juventus, even if they would have some sort of hiccup that they tie Udinese, they will go down to 6 points.
No, then the pressure starts.
The pressure starts because you guys know that Juventus still has to play Roma at the final game of the season, if I'm not mistaken, but Roma seems to be the real deal for now, right? With
Roma, like I said multiple times there, it's unfortunate they went to that phase where they decided that because of X reasons, Totti not being there, they couldn't handle it and they decided to start tying games.
Yeah.
Those are the points. Because if you tell me at the beginning of the year, Roma will only lose twice this year, I will tell you not only that you're out of your mind, they are champions of Italy.
Yeah. So, guys, Roma, we'll see what comes up. Yes, predictions for tomorrow before we jump into the next game?
I think Juve wins 2-0.
I say a Juve slip-up con le polemiche. There's going to be some sort of polemica. I say a 1-1 draw. Di Natale on a penalty in the 95th minute. Taking it over, guys, we had... you want to go with Fiorentina? You want to go with... Let's do Napoli and Lazio. This is the Napoli that we saw 2 weeks ago, right? This is the Napoli that's possessing the ball, controlling, creating those chances.
Not the first couple of minutes of the game. The first couple of minutes of the game, they were a bit on their heels. They didn't understand why Lazio didn't have a striker.
But
it's because Lazio had no other strikers to field.
But Lazio, giving it to them, even with a man down, right? That they brought it up to 3-2 at one point, right? They were still a man down. But Napoli, and we're going to get into the Milan game like today that they play a lot more defensively, but Napoli wasn't playing. They were sure trying to go get that goal, and they got it in the end. But once again, we're coming back always to the same conversation, Steve, is that the only thing that Napoli fans should be mad at is not seeing this kind of Napoli week in, week out.
Well, the Napoli fans, they should be mad at more than that. We know that Napoli, they had to address their backline.
Yeah.
They failed to address their backline. Today, on the first goal, Lulic completely destroyed Abiol. Abiol didn't even know where he was. I think he was still dizzy. He didn't think that he could turn that much. What saves Napoli is the firepower that they have.
Yeah.
And you saw. Look, Callejon on the bench today, he's able to play Mertens. Mertens, he could score from everywhere. Possibly, we've been hearing the signing of the year. I don't agree with that. I think it's Benassia. But
Gervinho
too, but look, Mertens, he does a lot.
Alessandro Matri.
Yeah, right. And that's what happens with Napoli. It's their firepower that if Higuain is on, you see he's able to score, he's able to get into, and they have a lot of solutions, Hamsik and so on and so on. But in the tight games, it's when their defense lets them down, like in the Europa League where they're out. That's what happens to Napoli, and that's the frustrating part for the fans. The true Napolitan fans, that's what they'll say. Their back line is letting them down.
Do you think maybe another year with this maybe more gelling between the players instead of change? Because they changed quite a few different players this year. Do you think maybe next year if they keep the same core?
Maybe some chemistry, but now people are on to them now. They understand that if you isolate Higuain, it's hard for them to generate goals.
True.
Porto was able to do that if the other guys are not on. They have a lot of guys that could be dangerous, but a lot of guys who are not very consistent all the time.
Definitely.
Let's face it, Insigne, not consistent. Jorginho, sometimes there, sometimes not there. Look, they have to become consistent, and playing 3 times a week, they need a deep squad, which they do. They're gonna have, and I'm pretty sure Di Laurentiis is gonna invest more money, but they have to start being consistent, or else the bigger and better teams will eat them up.
Before we move on to the Fiorentina-Verona game, I just want to have an honorable mention to Torino today. And a little side note to everybody out there in the internet world and Twitter world that was mad that Luca Toni wasn't called up. I don't disrespect Luca Toni, I find he's a great player. When you look at what these two guys did, right, you would take Luca Toni before Cerci and Immobile. Guys, seriously, we don't need a guy to tap in goals. Look at what these guys did today. Heart, La Grinta, and this is what we need in our national team. Guys that are not. Anyways, that's my personal opinion. I'm not knocking Luca Toni at all.
No.
I find he's great.
Luca Toni's time has passed. It's not negotiable for the national team. There's other players that need to get that experience. Move on to another subject.
Fiorentina Sampdoria. Fiorentina Verona. We had a hockey game score over there with a final score of 5-3. But Steve, when was the last time? Maybe we should ask our buddy Jinkers. When was the last time Fiorentina scored 5 goals? Forget 5 goals.
Without
Matri scores on a.
Matri scores. Matri doesn't do nothing to deserve to score. I don't even understand how the Fiorentina players allowed him to pick up the ball to take the penalty shot. It's not your team. Like, these are the rules of the unwritten rules of the game that drive me crazy. I'm a Fiorentina player. I will knock Matri on his ass before he takes that penalty shot.
Let me ask you this: if you're Montella, yes, you won today. Conceding 3 goals, is it something that you would be something worried about?
If I'm Montella, I'm more worried about conceding 3 goals to Verona than actually scoring 5.
Right, it was a very open game, back and forth, but you're still facing Verona in Firenze, and you still allowed 3 goals. And at one point, if I'm not mistaken, it was 3-2, if I'm not mistaken,
yes.
For Firenze. But Fiorentina, another win today. We'll see what happens up for the final 6 games.
Fiorentina, for the rest of the season, the only thing you can mention with them is the injury bug hit them. They got a stupid, dumb suspension on Borja Valero for absolutely no reason that cost them some other points. But besides that, fantastic. They can hold their head up high. They'll go into Europa League.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of. Guys, let's talk about Milan versus Catania. I came over here to Steve's house to watch the game, and we were outside shooting the shit, and I said, Steve, I just don't want us to win by a 1-0 score. I want us to have some sort of convincing. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, and from the first half, it looked okay. Some bad plays here, bad passes, but in the second half, Steve, it's like, if we play like this against an Atalanta, have Verona for all, we're gonna get punished. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what happens with Milan. It was a very ugly game, a terrible Catania.
Very physical.
Yeah, it was a physical game, but I like those types of games. I don't mind the lower teams playing physical with the higher teams. But Milan, it's just unfortunate that there's no flow of the game. Even against the Catania, they had a lot of possession. They were a little bit more dangerous beforehand. Montolivo, he decided that he was going to hit the net today.
Yeah.
And he scored a goal, which is fantastic. But for the rest of the game, he did not do anything. He's not involved. He needs to get more involved. Playing next to De Jong, he has to demand more of the ball. He needs to help a player like De Jong because De Jong cannot be on the ball all the time. If De Jong's on the ball, there's a problem. And what I'm a little bit disappointed in Seedorf with the changes that he made. I don't understand putting Abate, replacing Poli for... Look, Abate is a wing back. If Abate was good to go, Constant should not start.
I hope, we're just taping this show, guys, as soon as the game is finished. I hope he's going to explain, because this is what it comes down to, is like, we don't understand these changes. Forget we won. We would like to understand why.
But the thing is that he's tried it before, Abate in the middle of the pitch there. It doesn't work.
There's got to be something that he knows that we don't know. I don't know
what he doesn't know. The thing is, I want to know answers of why a guy like Saponara doesn't play. especially in a game like this where it's a weaker team. Catania, you could get his feet under him and you can get a little bit of feel of the game. It's good experience to come in off the bench. He doesn't use a player like that.
Yeah.
Look, what aggravates me the most is that at 1-0, you want to close the game.
Yeah.
I would like Seedorf to be more proactive than reactive. You understand?
That's very well.
You know, like Poli had a good game. He works very hard. At a certain point, he has to come off. So does Kaká has to come off. Tarat too. You have to make a formation and make a plan where you know that this guy will be coming out if I'm up 1-0, if I'm down 1-0. Unfortunately, we see, he's trying Emmanuelson again. Look, at this point, Emmanuelson,
You look at it this way, Steve, but let's look at it as it's 4 wins in a row, and we haven't.
No, I'm not complaining.
We're not throwing a party for 4 wins in a row, but we still got the job done, as obvious it was.
It's 12 points. They're 12 ugly wins.
Yeah.
Look, let's call a spade a spade. They're four ugly wins. They're 12 points. I'm not gonna say I'm mad at 12 points.
No.
I just need to know a little bit more from him, just for my own knowledge and for my own know-how. Is why would you make that change for Poli and Abate? I don't understand. And why would you take out one defensive liability, Constant, to put in another defensive liability, Urbi Emmanuelson?
Yeah.
I know you're
actually Constant the last couple of games he hasn't played
Constant
bad.
shouldn't have played a game after he wore the death cap. To be very honest with you. And even on the offensive side, they can't get away with it. Balotelli needs to be more involved. There needs to be some runs.
Yeah.
And we saw today, watching it together, when Balotelli is coming further up the pitch to come and get the ball, there's absolutely no one running in behind him.
Yeah.
So how do you want to generate chances? You're not going to generate chances, and that's why we're stuck. That's why people are angry.
There you go. And to our friend Zuro Milan, asked us to talk about Paloschi scoring a lot with Chievo. But to get Paloschi to come back and replace Matri, yes, in a dream world we all want that. But
it should have happened a long time ago.
Exactly.
We said it when we signed Matri.
It didn't happen now.
$11 million wasted. They should have just took back Paloschi and that's it. That's the end of that. Too bad. Take him back from Chievo, bring him back here, see what he could do.
A quick, minute. You guys know from Montreal. A very quick minute on the MLS, the Impact. Another draw this week, Impact against the Chicago Fire. Frank Lopez facing his old team. Steve, I don't, we said it's going to be a long season. I just don't see, they just got, what's his name? Jack McCurkerney, whatever his name is. Yes, he scored, but the only thing I can think about is if the guy, for whatever instance, gets hurt, it looks like we're depending on that one guy. And the losses we got when he wasn't playing, where do you see the Impact this year? Do you see them make the playoffs?
No.
The way we're playing right now.
The way we're playing right now, no. They need to address the midfield. They need to address the defense as well. Everybody said, "Oh, Nesta, he's old. Oh my God, we're not going to show the difference." It shows. We're allowing the other teams to take the game to us, which was not happening last year.
Yeah.
The midfield was much more dominant. They had much more answers, much more options up front. The team just looks very, very thin. And it seems like the coach, he understands that and he knows he doesn't have a lot of options.
But to get Patrice Bernier who's off the bench the last 3 games, I don't understand.
But that's right? Coming back from an injury, playing on turf, because we're the only people who decide to play a game in a dome which is closed for absolutely no reason. We could have played outside, it was a beautiful day. On grass, we decide to make our games because of the weather.
Money.
Our first couple of home games in that stupid thing called the Olympic Stadium.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And we'll try to mention the MLS a bit more often whenever we have a chance, guys. So always thanks for listening in. We're going to finish off with our red cards. Steve, do you want to start off with yours or should I go off with mine?
No, you do what you want. I don't care.
My red card is going to go to the Bayern Munich haters or fans saying that Bayern Munich just lost 2 games in a row in the Bundesliga, which saved Milan's 58-game unbeaten streak. And all of a sudden, Bayern Munich sono in crisi. I don't know what's going on. I think we're going to lose. Guys.
They won the Bundesliga in January.
I think they won the Bundesliga in January. You're looking at a team that's so far stacked. They have a great coach. And you know what? I will put my money on them. Just Not because a team loses 2 games in a row for the first time in what, I think 3 years, 4 years? Guys, seriously, give Bayern Munich a chance. They won the championship, they're taking it easy, they're thinking about the Champions League once again. So, red card to the guys that said that Bayern Munich sono in crisi. Steve?
My red card goes to the FIGC, and I'm giving it to them for the whole Jorginho saga, where they did not select him for the 42-man roster for the Italy team.
Why?
I'm giving it to them not because they didn't select him, because look, Jorginho, I'm pretty sure he's a fantastic talent. He's an Italian citizen. Azzurro Milan was able to give us a couple of videos where he actually became an Italian citizen. There were other people tweeting that there's a special rule that once he becomes an Italian citizen, has to wait a certain amount of time before he could be called by the national team. Just explain it to everybody.
Yeah.
Explain it to everybody so everybody knows exactly what's going on, and that people don't have to argue with each other to understand why they're taking him, why they're not taking him. And that's FIFA as well. Just fix the rule for once and for all. Look at France. They're stacked with a lot of players that are not from France. They're born in French colonies, they're born from African nations, and they become French citizens, and then they play with the French national team. So it's something that's part of the game now. Explain it to everybody, make a concrete rule, and tell everybody, look, this is what happens when you become a citizen of a country and you decide to play for our national team.
The only thing I gotta say about that, I know what you're saying, I'm not a racist, but a team like Italy, a country like Italy, we should not need to go get a guy like Jorginho, Thiago Motta for that matter, we should all, and, excuse me, your favorite player, Osvaldo, we should be able to have homegrown players, and once again, there's nothing to knock, I can understand if the Czech Republic goes to get like a non-naturalized, that I get, but Jorginho for me doesn't deserve to be in the Italian national team. That's my point of view. Sorry.
I don't agree. I think the game has changed. FIFA is a global sport. People move around and they leave from their country to go to another country, and they make a life for themselves in that country. And if they feel that they're Italian, they should be able to play for Italy.
Well, let's shake on agree to disagree.
I'm not shaking on anybody.
Guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next Saturday on a Saturday show because Domenica Pasqua.
Pasqua.
And we'll see you guys on next Saturday. Ciao, guys.
Ciao.